What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today, different video, man. I don't even know what day I'm gonna post this. All I know is I'm bored out of my mind, guys. My ear is still messed up, and it's actually starting to like hurt a little bit. So it's actually the same day. It's still Saturday, May 31st. But yeah, honestly, I just made this video, man, because I spent a lot of time working on my MLB model, and I just want to make a video breaking it down, maybe helping you guys out if you guys are ever interested in getting into this stuff. I'm sure that there's an easier way to do all this stuff, but at the same time, man, um, like I said, I said this on but the first MLB video I ever made. I'm a complete idiot with that stuff, man. So if y'all are like looking at this and like thinking it's all complicated, like, oh, I don't even know like where to start, this is impossible, blah 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 blah, like, dude, you're just being lazy because I am, like I said, I'm an idiot with this stuff, man. ChatGPT exists, which, oh my gosh, like you can do anything with ChatGPT, by the way. But ChatGPT exists. I would recommend if you guys ever get into this kind of stuff, just get ChatGPT. You ever have a question on something related to this, man? Just take a screenshot of it, put it in ChatGPT, explain to ChatGPT like you're 5 years old what you want to fix, what you want to do in Excel, and they'll just give you the formula for you. So all this formula stuff, man, like to this day, I don't even like really get it, but ChatGPT does, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I'm gonna quick break it down, what data I'm using for it, how all this stuff is weighted and stuff like that. And guys, this stuff is not like finalized; it's still pretty new. So I'm always open to like changing stuff. And if you guys are good at this stuff and just like watching this for entertainment value or something, like drop some comments down below. If you think anything's like messed up with it, seriously. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. So obviously, guys, today is Saturday. There's like a 16 game slate. I know my ugly little head's in the way at the bottom, hiding from some of the games, but basically where I start, let's start from the top, man. So obviously, away team is Cincinnati. This is like a drop down box that can select every single team. Basically, all I did for that is you have to have like something. So like this is let's see, streamer hitters, right? So this is like an Excel. This is from Fangraphs, by the way. I exported this from Fangraphs. And basically, guys, you have to do like data validation or something like that, and it's just like a list of all these team names. So that's not really like rocket science or anything. Um, yeah. Then same thing over here. If you go to the right, I do have this is an umpire. I know I don't have it. This one says not announced. This is on the first copy, but like, and this let's do this game for today. Actually, let's do this one because I think this is actually two pitchers who pitch. James Jean. So that's an ump. Basically, guys, for the ump stuff, I have let's see. I have an umpire one. Yep. It's just called umpires. This is from Swish Analytics. You can easily refresh it. All you have to do is like remove the X here. You have to like click on this and do Control H, remove the X, so then you can actually get a number. That's like these umpires have different strikeout boosts, walk boosts, all that good stuff. And this will automatically refresh if I go here and hit refresh. That will refresh everything. And yeah, that's I kind of like imported it through there. And like I said, guys, I'm not gonna actually import anything on this because I just don't want to like go through all that extra work and shit. But like if you just download files as a CSV, I have all these get data from text legacy. That's like where I import stuff from. And I know you can't see it because it's on Mac. But yeah, and then every few days I'll go back in and refresh it. It's I know where all the data points are or all the data sheets are, and yeah, and it's like I just put them back in, which is definitely a waste of time, by the way. But yeah. So that's the umpire thing. What was I doing? I was doing Chicago White Sox, Baltimore. This is a field. Statcast has historical trends with some fields have strikeout rates over expected, walk rates over expected, and then hits boosts over expected due to like field dimensions and stuff. I'm guessing this is like due to like batter eye or something. Walk, I have no clue what that is. I might take it out because I just can't really justify it in my head. But Statcast, like all that stuff is weighted as over expected. So I have all that stuff on a sheet over here. Let me quick pull that up as well. Sorry guys, yeah, ballparks. So yeah, it's this is all like from Statcast, and of course I have an NA because the Athletics and the Rays, they got new fields or don't have a field right now, so they're playing at minor leagues and there's not data at them. But as you can see, like K Boost, right? Like Seattle, like for whatever reason, a ton of strikeouts happen over expected on that field. Milwaukee, same with them. where's the low ones? Yeah, like Kansas City really doesn't have like strikeouts over expected. Same with the Nationals. So I don't know if that's like sticky or not, but it's as you guys can see like in like one of the sheets here. It's a new one, but I divide it by half, right? So it's like whatever this is, I divide it in half because I don't want it like skewing the numbers too much. Same with the umps, but I do want it factored in a little bit. So that's going into like the final projected number over here, as you can see, like Jesus Luzardo's. This is his strikeouts today, which that dude shat the bed today, by the way. I didn't check and he gave up like 12 win runs, but yeah. So a sum of all the hitters' strikeouts is then multiplied by the little boost over there, and that's how I get there. Yeah. Obviously, guys. So I have a right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher filter. Obviously, that's going to be in some of the codes where it's like, okay, projected K rate or weighted projected K rate versus right-handed pitchers. It's like if, oh no, never mind. Projected K rate versus opposing right-handed pitchers. So right here, I have it so like an if. Well, actually, no, it's a batters. What am I doing, bro? Okay, it's right here. So it's actual strikeouts. Like if $4, which is right here, equals left-handed pitching, then you do a different code right here, and then if it equals RHP, then it's like I23, which is the projected K rate versus righties, of course, instead of the J23, which is projected K rate versus lefties, and yeah, so that's how I get the strikeouts. Let's see, I'm kind of I'm like completely winging this, so if this video sucks ass, just let me know. Let me know down below. But then yeah, so I got the pitchers down there. How did I get all the pitchers up in there? I have lists over here, right? So these are this is the big time chat GPT thing, bro. But basically this code up here at the top imported all of I have like a list of every single hitter that is projected, their projected numbers from Fangraphs imported, right? So, like, people will get called up from AAA all the time, and it's like they have no MLB at bats. That's why it's important to have like these projected dudes, so you can put them in your model and still have like a decent projection on them. So yeah, basically, this is like every single MLB player or hitter. I think it is right here. Freddie. Oh, this is every single MLB pitcher, like in the minors and stuff too. And then this is like every MLB hitter. It's gonna go down for a while, but then it also gets shortened up by team, right? So it's like I have like the Philly team, and then this is only Philly hitters I can choose from. So it's obviously a drop down, but also you can just type it in, and it kind of goes a lot faster. So all right, guys. Now we're getting into like the actual like stuff of it. So right-handed pitcher Chad Patrick. So basically, this is a long ass code that searches for his pitches per plate appearance, which is on Baseball Reference. But if you go down here, where's pitchers? I have two ones. One called pitches per plate appearance. This is basically every single pitcher's pitches per plate appearance this year, and since it's not like super deep into the season, I do weight it 75-25 with their pitches per plate appearance from last year. So that's how I get their pitches per plate appearance number, which is I think pretty important for determining how many batters they face and stuff. And obviously, how many batters they face is super important. So yeah, I have everyone's pitches per plate appearance from this year weighted with last year, and of course, if they don't have one from last year, then their this year number just shows instead. Yeah, but I think pitcher per plate appearance for hitters and pitchers is both very important because you just want you want to know how many batters they're going to be projected to face when you project their pitch count. So yeah, and then of course, guys, pitcher per plate appearance. I do weight it against the other team's lineup, right? So this is the same thing with this. This is like I have a hitter's pitcher per plate appearance sheet from last year and this year. I have a weighted number between those two guys, and then I also, there's going to be like the minor league guys. They obviously don't have pitches per plate appearance number, so then I'll give the league average pitches per plate appearance instead. And of course, guys, I do weight this. So this is like the Yankees lineups pitches per plate appearance on average, and I do have it weighted a little bit to skew the top of the lineup, right? Because obviously, guys, like those dudes are going to hit more than the bottom of the lineup. Like this obviously is an inaccurate, sorry, an inaccurate lineup. But this is an accurate lineup now. But yeah, so it's like these guys at the bottom of the order are obviously more likely to see 2 plate appearances rather than 3. So I do have that weighted a little bit there, but yeah, so it's like the pitcher per plate appearance boost is basically like league average pitcher per plate appearances right here, and that's something I need to manually update. Maybe it moved a little bit. This is the lineup pitcher plate appearance, and then I weight that into the pitchers. So, and then manually, I will take a median. I'll look at people's game logs and I'll take a median. I'll obviously like see if they're coming off of injury, if they're trending down, trending up, and adjust that as so to find their pitch count. That's something I have to do manually. Obviously, you probably could like import every single pitcher's like game logs and spit out a median, but I think that's just like doing the most. So yeah, K rate versus right-handed batters. Obviously, guys, this is like a season long. His strikeout rate against righties. Um, I do have what's the word, man? Where they have to face it. It's like qualifiers. I do have qualifiers in this, right? So I don't want like pitchers who have pitched like 5 innings, right? Because their shit's gonna be like super skewed. So these are people who are qualifiers as pitchers. So Gunnar Hoglund, he only has like a 15% K rate versus righties. But then he has a 23.73 against lefties. Obviously, guys, that's using the X lookup C4, which is, his name right here. And then my pitchers versus lefty sheet. And obviously like searching that. And then I have, this is like his projected K rate versus lefties. And then projected K rates versus righties. This is from Fangraphs. You can, they have updating players and their splits projections. So I do have one of that. I'm waiting at 75-25 from what's actually on the field, right? So like obviously guys, his weighted projected K rate versus lefties is 21.88, but it's actually 23.73. It's like I said, it's 75-25 because I care about like what they're actually doing on the field, right? K rates is like, we'll get into batting average a little bit later, but batting average is more so, variance to an extent. Obviously, like hard hit stuff is more likely to be hits, but at the same time, man, if they're missing the ball, they're missing the ball. I think it's like pretty sticky. K stuff is, so I do feel comfortable weighting what's actually happening on the field, especially since I have qualifiers on, right? So this isn't like super small sample size stuff. So yeah, and then so that's how I get all these numbers. K multipliers versus right-handed batters. So what is this? So this is weighted projected K rate versus righties, which is obviously like that weighted with this, and then it's multiplied by, or it's divided by 2.21, as you can see up here, which is the league average righty on righty strikeout rate. So the league average righty on righty strikeout rate is 22.1%, and then his weighted projected K rate is 15.66%. So that means that on average, compared to an average righty on righty at bat, he's striking guys out, 0.71 times less. Or I screwed that up so bad. He's striking them out at a rate way lower than average, right? But then on lefties, he's actually like striking people out more than average, right? Because weighted projected is 21.88, and then the league average righty on lefty strikeout rate is 21.1%. So Gunner's like projection is going to be heavily like weighted by how many lefties are in the opposing lineup, which is right here for Toronto. Home lineup Toronto, and there was a fair bit of righties in this one. Usually teams that will stack lefties against a righty if they want to. Yeah, and then same thing with lefties. League average lefty K rate, so guys, the thing is with left-handed pitchers is like they definitely have higher K rates. So you got to weigh how difficult the matchup is against other lefties. So see right here, Eric Lauer. Okay, that's probably a bad one. Was there any of that good ones who pitched today? Oh yeah, Tariq Skubal. So Tariq Skubal, guys, his K multiplier versus right-handed batters is really good. I mean, obviously, right? 35%, basically 35% K rate versus each side's. Yeah, average lefty on lefty strikeout rate, or lefty on righty strikeout rate is 22.6. Obviously, would divide that by this. And then, yeah, like the average lefty on lefty strikeout rate is super high compared to like the other ones, 24.5%. So, yeah, that's kind of how I got it. And yeah, it like makes up for, because what was wrong with my model initially was that I was just doing it versus the league average K rate, not realizing that lefties strike out people more than lefties, and that like, and if people have like reverse splits, that's like how you really find an edge with this model too. Like if like a lefty strikes out a righty more than they do lefties, and then the team stacks righties against that lefty, like that's actually a really good strikeout matchup, obviously. So all right. Moving it down to the lineups and stuff like that, right here, sticking on this game. This is like Jonathan India's strikeout rate versus righties over the last 30 games. Look, man, 30 games is a pretty big sample size, right? I wanted to get like how people are trending in it too, how they've been doing recently. So yeah, obviously you still have to be a qualifier for over the last 30 days. Got this from Fangraphs as well. Carry rate versus left-handed pitchers last 60 days. Of course, guys, hitters are gonna go up against right-handed pitching more often, so they're gonna have way more at bats against righties. So yeah, I have the lefties the last 60 days, righties the last 30 days. I think that's a good way to do it. Same thing with this man. Fangraphs projected K rate versus the right-handed pitchers. As you guys can see these codes up here. Like I said, I don't know how to like educate people on these codes because ChatGPT educated me. But it's like you just have to find a way to import it, and then like yeah, it's like using an X lookup A23, which is Jonathan India, right? And then hitters projected versus right-handed pitchers. This is like his name. Guys, one thing too, man. If you're making a model, MLB model, accents in people's names will like throw it off. So this is like the name that they're in, BT, and obviously BT is gonna be like way back here in Excel because I had to like make a separate column for people's names. There's a way to like take the accent off people's names, and I had to use that just for like everyone because some sites don't have accents and then some do, and just like it's way easier to take off all the accents than it is to like put them on and stuff. So yeah, that's like what I did there. And then same thing here, man. Projected K rate versus the lefties. Like I said, weighting is the same. 75% what's actually on the field, 25% their actual projection. And yeah, same thing. So yeah, you can see the projected K rate versus Tariq Skubal is going to be very, very high compared to their weighted projected K rates versus lefties because he is just such a damn difficult matchup. And then of course everyone's pitchers per plate appearance. Same thing. I showed you guys how I do that with the pitchers. It's the same thing, man. You just gotta go to Baseball Reference and get every single hitter's pitches per plate appearance. I think I'm weighting both those 75-25, but I might just like make it where it's everyone's pitch per plate appearance from this year because there has been like a shit ton of at bats. So plate appearance versus starting pitchers. This one was like kind of weird, man. As you can see up here, there's like a super long code, and then like I could not like describe how that is, but I had to find a way to like distribute these 24.9 batters faced by Skubal, where it was like 1-1-1-1, 1-1-1-1, and then 1-1-1-1. Okay, that's like the 24th batter, and now it's like 0.86 to this guy, and then 2-2. So yeah, and then obviously, guys, K's is like I said, if this dude is a lefty, use like the projected K rate versus the opposing left-handed pitcher, and I have like a code in here to like hide it if like so if I make Tariq Skubal a righty, then I would like move over here. I just have like a code in there to hide it. I just don't really want to look at it if it's not actually a lefty. So yeah, cool, and that's basically how it all is. So then it's like how many strikeouts is this? It's like their K rate versus the opponent lefty times their plate appearances, and yeah, so that's how you get there. Um, cool, and then yeah, so it's that like then you add all these up, and of course, guys, like I said, it's multiplied by the umpire boost and the field boost. So, yeah, and that's how I got Skubal at 7.05, and I did the exact same stuff down here for the away lineup. So yeah, cool. And then of course, guys, I have this down here team pitcher projected Ks. I highly recommend having this so it's easy to, when you actually have a strikeout projection, like a table that you can just like, copy. This is just copied and pasted from right here, right? So it's like all these are here. Yeah, they're the exact same. Okay, cool. For Kansas City. Then the walks. The walks is like the exact same thing, basically. So yeah, pitches per plate appearance. I mean, this is like equals D6, right? You can just keep this stuff the exact same, but then you have to, do the X lookup in the same sheet, pitchers versus right-handed batters. Find the name, find the cell that has his walk rate against righties, and then put not found if it's not there. And as you guys can see, Tariq Skubal has like he just doesn't walk people. Like 2.9% against righties, 1.6% against lefties is pretty crazy. I wonder, was there anyone today that has crazy walk splits? Because guys, sometimes people will have crazy walk splits, and actually there was that I remember. So guys, Bryce Miller. If you look down here, this is obviously like the walks. This is like the Ks. This is the walks. Bryce Miller has like an 18.31% walk rate against lefties, which is crazy, right? That's like the kind of stuff like a 1.58% walk multiplier versus left-handed batters. Because like I said, league average righty on lefty walk rate is 0.1. So yeah, and then he actually has like a 15.83 weighted walk percentage. So Yeah, that's how you find like that's how my model like really finds edges here, right? And even like looking at here, this is Bailey over a 3.23% walk rate versus lefties. So like a guy like JP Crawford, who's a lefty who walks a ton, or Cal Raleigh, a guy who walks a ton against righties. These guys are going to have like super low projected walk rates because Ober legitimately just like does not walk lefties as a righty, and like the league average is 10%. So yeah, that's like kind of stuff how my walk projections are formed as well. Was there anything else I wanted to like look at? What was I going back here? So yeah, I mean, and this is like the same thing, man. It's like a code of let's see, yeah, searching this, yeah, it's like searching that. I think I had to do this, make it so I made these so instead of saying not found, it just also puts their projected walk rate, as you guys can see with like Freddie Furman or something. Like he doesn't have enough, so his walk rate is just his um last 30. So I think I did that there instead of putting it not found, but it's like the same thing. For hits allowed, it was a little bit different. Yeah, so for hits allowed, I have all this stuff weighted different. I know. So like I said, with batting, because some guys like had like 600 batting averages against like lefties over the last 30 days or something, and or against righties or something. So I had to skew that back a little bit. This is the one thing that I did differently. I did actually 65% of it is the projection line, which is right. It's like the one in column F, and then 35% of it is the last 60 for lefties or the last 30 against righties. Um, yeah, man, it's like because with baseball, man, it's like you can shit on the ball perfectly, hit the ball perfectly, and still not get a hit. Or you can like hit a little nub and like beat it out at first, or like off the end of the bat just happens to fall like behind the third baseman or something, right? So hitting has the most variance in my opinion. Obviously, like if you get walked, you get walked. The dude didn't throw a strike, you were forcing a pitch in at bat. If you strike out, you couldn't hit the ball, you couldn't hit the ball. But like you can hit the ball good and still get out, or you can hit the ball like shit and still get a hit. So I actually did weight this higher towards the projections. Like I said, 35% of what they've been doing on the field, 65% of what their projected line is. And because of that, my projection lines are pretty on market for the most part for hits allowed. It's been like tough to find edges. And yeah, it's because like I'm using projected numbers, but this is like the same thing, man. All this stuff goes into it. All this stuff you can just like kind of copy and paste for the most part down from like the earlier cells and stuff like that. Like all this is copied and pasted down, copied and pasted down. But for the hits allowed, man, it's like a little bit different than the walks. Obviously, guys, I kind of skip the walks, but it's like really the exact same process because it's like a strikeout rate, a walk rate. So you're really just like finding their walk rate, finding their plate appearances, and then like multiplying that, like using the multipliers and stuff. So I mean, it's exact same as strikeouts, except you literally have to search this for their walk rate instead of their strikeout rate. So like I was literally just copy and pasting formulas and like switching up like one letter up here. So yeah. Um, and then yeah, with them for hits allowed, same thing, man. Batting average against righties, projected batting average. You weight that stuff, right? So I mean, holy shit, who is this? Oh, it's Scooble. So Scooble has a 133 batting average against other lefties. So I guess he's projected to have like 200. I weighted these 50-50, I believe, right? Yeah. Weighted these 50-50, man, because the pitchers do have like more control, I think. Yeah, so I weighted those 50-50. Maybe I'm messing up by not having the hitters weights and the pitchers weights the exact same, but that's how I chose to do it. Yeah, and also like the pitchers is like a full year sample instead of like a last 30, last 60. So like you can be like really hot, right? So yeah, projected batting average versus righties, projected batting average versus lefties. Like I said, this exact same thing. You just need to have like a projected, hitters versus left-handed pitchers CSV file imported in, and that will have K rate or walk rate and projected average. So I mean, it's like pretty easy. Same with like the last 30 stuff. Yeah, it's like the same thing, man. It's like you find like the multipliers and multiply those up and sum up all the hits, and yeah, that's kind of how you get there, man. I wonder if there's anything else that I missed. I guess I could show you guys like what the sheets look like a little bit. Let's see. So obviously, like I said, this is my walk projections versus the line. Okay, I guess I'll spend a little bit of time here. So basically, guys, what I notice is like the juiciest you're gonna find for like strikeouts is like probably close to this like minus 160, minus 165, minus 175 range or something. So I did put the standard deviation to 1.7 just because, it's like I was tinkering around with this, right? And like minus 185, like under 4.5 minus 185. What the hell? Oh, yeah, because that's under. It's probably pretty close to 4, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but yeah, I want. So this is like strikeout line. So this is my projected number. This is like the line. Say it's minus plus. Say it's plus 135, and of course I put 35. Plus 135 minus 185. Um, yeah, so it's like this is like basically a 4, right? If it's like this juiced over, this juiced under. So this is like what the actual number is, and like I said, this probably isn't exactly right. And then it's, yeah, just like the percentage difference of my number compared to the book's over number, which is 4.06, 9.6% difference. I've been like kind of looking for 20% differences here. As you can see, I didn't obviously play a K prop. I guess the best bet was Senzatella, Antonio Senzatella of the Rockies, under 3.5 strikeouts at minus 165. I will say, guys, also with this is that, with juice, people who have like wide range of outcomes are, in baseball, it's like you gotta still do your own research. You can't just like only look at a spreadsheet. So if Senzatella is all over the place, like sometimes he absolutely sucks, sometimes he's really really good and has a good hit rate to the over. It's probably not a good bet, right? If you're letting juice like that because there's just a lot of variance involved. So yeah, Edward Cabrera under 5.5 strikeouts. I think he ended at. I was super close to playing this. I think he ended at 5 on the dot. So I guess that would have been cool. But yeah, like books under projection, books over projection. That's basically how like I actually find it's like a percent difference for over. Like I said, guys, my walk projections. I guess today they actually were pretty even when it comes to like unders and overs. My walk projections tend to lean over a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's an absolute flaw, but it's been working like a charm, man. So like Gunnar Hogland. I played that today. It was like plus 103 at Novig. By the way, guys, I'm going to link Novig down below. Let me tell you a quick story. So, best price of market was, or the price in market for these walk lines was minus 135 DK, minus 135, bet 365, minus 114 Caesars, and then plus 103 at Novig with like 200 or $2,000 of liquidity, which is, probably not a good sign, right? Means that some sharp money's on the under, basically what that means. But I'm like, well, I'm just gonna trust my numbers. And he walked 2 guys in the first inning. Not saying this model is gonna win every single time, but it just like the importance of having no big was like really, and I've been promoting it, but the importance of no big in that moment was like, holy crap! I just like saved $17 because I know I'm $100 better. So would have put 114 down on the minus 114 instead. I bet 100 to win 103, and yeah. So Toronto Nova, guys, linked it down below. Just a quick little story. Make sure to check it out. Yeah. So for the walks, like I said, same things going into this, but yeah, these tend to have like higher percentage differences and stuff like that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a flaw or not, but yeah. And then hits allowed, same thing, man. Same thing. Like I said, with the hits and Ks, usually 20%. I will say, guys, one thing about my projections is I think Rockies away games are kind of messed up. Rocky stuff is kind of messed up because even though I probably should have played this, right? Because this dude was literally over in every single away game too. But even like Senga, like this line is way too high for Senga. He soared under it. I think that like Rocky stuff you just got to be careful about because they do have such like a batter friendly field. So yeah, with the pitchers, always make sure to check their like road stats and stuff too, and see if like their batting average allowed is like similar. So yeah, because they are in like a super hitter friendly ballpark. So that's the one thing I've kind of noticed with the hits allowed stuff that could be a little bit janky. So yeah, but yeah. I guess I'll quick show. This is like my streamer hitter updated. So this has every single hitter in the MLB minor leagues. Like I said, I use this for the names and for the teams. Hitters versus right-handed pitching last 30, left-handed pitching last 60. Hitters projected versus right-handed pitching and versus left-handed pitching. As you guys can see, these like are the exact same except they have different numbers, but they're structured the exact same. And that makes it super easy for the formula process, right? Because it's like all you have to do is switch the sheet name, like type in like a new sheet name, but like the columns are still the same and all that. So hitters, pitches per plate appearance 24. I had to load that in first so I could use it in 2025 and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, that's my hitters pitcher per plate appearance. This is like the Steamer updated pitchers one, projections from Fangraphs. Every single pitcher in the majors and the minors is in here. As you guys can see, it's like down to like, oh crap, where's scroll? Like, yeah, you can scroll down forever. Like, this is literally like sell 5,600. So every single guy's in there in case, like, you never know who's gonna get called up to the majors, right? Pitchers versus right-handed batting, pitchers versus left-handed batting. Like I said, these are all from Fangraphs, and they are all structured the same in the cells. Of course, they just have different numbers. Same thing, pitchers projected versus righties, pitchers projected versus lefties. And then the pitch to plate appearance stuff that I already went over from the pitchers. And yeah, so like I said, this is just weighted. Yeah, 75, 25. Then umpires, like I said, this is refreshable. Thankfully, the rest of the stuff isn't for me, unfortunately. And I think it's like a Mac issue. So I do have to like constantly, go back into Fangraphs and import a new one. So yeah, but it's not the end of the world. It only takes like 20 minutes. So yeah, this is just like random stuff, righties and lefties for like data validation and stuff. So yeah, cool. And then I think the last thing I forgot to show is that, so like the Cubs lineup: Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki. Like I say, it's like I can just like type it in and put them in there. And of course, if they're a switch hitter, I have like, are they a righty or a lefty? And then, I look at projected lineups from RotoWire. As you can see, I have that here for like a reminder. Even though at this point I definitely remember it. But yeah, choose if they're a righty, if they're a switch. I know Happ's a switch, so it's like, yeah, they're going up against home lineup, Chicago, away, left-handed pitcher. So he'd be, a right-handed hitter, and that's just like hit right, and then left and stuff like that. And I have a little confirm button, yes, no. So it's like, if I'm doing it in the morning and just trying to get the lineups out or the projections out, I'd leave them as no, and then as soon as they get confirmed, I'd switch them, hit yes. So yeah, guys, I think that's about everything, man. So this is like a 30-minute video. I still can't hear shit. I've probably been yapping my ass off. I don't know, guys. Let me know if you guys found this helpful. Like I said, this is just me trying to show what's in everything, what goes into it. This isn't like going to teach you how to like build stuff on Excel, but I mean, seriously, if you know what data you want in, like I said, man, I'm a complete jackass, complete jackass. All I do is take a screenshot of it, just ask ChatGPT, man. Like I said, they literally gave me like all these formulas. Like, you think I knew what like an X lookup was? Like, hell no. I don't know what like a let is. Um, I don't. Yeah, X lookup. Like, I didn't know you could put stuff in parentheses and say not found. I didn't know. I don't know any of this stuff, man. So, like I said, man, believe in yourself. Use ChatGPT, and you can get this stuff done too. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.